Hello everybody, it's your immigration attorney, Ruiz, and I'm here with you today because I want to talk to you about family petitions. How can you obtain lawful status in the United States through your family members who are already U.S. citizens or permanent residents? Now, when we're talking about family-based petitions, these are petitions that you're filing, and it's filed on the form I-130, and the purpose of the form is to prove that the relationship you're claiming is true and that there's no fraud or any kind of sketchy stuff going on, so that you can be able to proceed to obtain your green card, your permanent resident status. Now, what relationships can you use in order to get that petition filed on your behalf? Now, it'll be parent and children can file a petition for you, siblings can file a petition for you, and your spouses can file a petition for you. I'm going to give you a little bit more information about each. Now, the simplest relationship to prove would be a parent-child, child-parent relationship, because that relationship is created at birth, right? When you're born, you have a birth certificate that says you're your mother's child and you are your father's child. So those processes run a little bit simpler because we have less proof to give, right? Your birth certificate says who your parent is, and that is sufficient to help prove the relationship. So some nuances that come into play, or benefits that come into play of this relationship, is that immigration understands that a parent-child relationship is created at birth and there's not much to prove. So what they're doing is that they approve these petitions, meaning they'll send you your green card in the mail without you having to come in for an interview. It's a benefit that's given to parent and child relationships because they have a simpler procedure to follow. Now, as we know, life happens, and sometimes parent-child relationships are created after birth, right? Step-parents and stepchildren. And immigration will treat a step-parent and a step-child relationship just like a parent and child relationship, as long as that relationship happened before the child turned 18. So if your mom married your stepdad when you were 15 years old, then that immigration will treat that relationship just like a biological parent, biological child relationship. And they get that same benefit of possibly not having to go in for an interview and getting the green card in the mail, just as if they were your parent or your child. Now, another relationship that you can use in order to obtain your permanent resident status, your green card in the United States, is through your siblings. As long as your sibling is a U.S. citizen who is over 21 years of age, they can file a petition for you so that you can obtain lawful status. Now, the problem with sibling petitions is that immigration gives priority to the closest relationships, and they obtain their green card the fastest. A sibling relationship is a little bit, because they're over 21, it's a bit further apart. They treat you as two separate families, so they give them the least priority. So sometimes these petitions can take almost 20 years before you'll be able to obtain your lawful status. But it is a process that is beneficial, and it does lead to your green card. Now, one of the most complicated but most common family relationships that are used in order to obtain permanent resident status is through your spouse. Now, why is it that a spouse relationship is harder, more complicated? Because that relationship isn't created at birth, right? It is a union of two strangers at some point who get to know each other and choose to join their lives together. Now, in that situation, immigration has to rely on other evidence, right, to prove that that marriage is valid. And that is a requirement, that we have to prove that it's a bona fide marriage, that you did not enter into this marriage for fraudulent reasons to obtain your permanent resident card. So we have to prove through paper, through joint bills, accounts, and stuff like that, that your marriage is true and it's valid. A little bit fun fact about getting a green card through your spouse is that if at the time that your green card is granted, you have been married for less than 2 years, you will receive a conditional green card that's only valid for 2 years, at which after those 2 years, you do have to apply to remove conditions before you can get your full unconditional green card, the 10-year card. If at the time that your green card is granted, you've been married for more than 2 years, you will get the 10-year card with no conditions, and you are a permanent resident unconditionally. Now, all of the relationships that we've discussed they open the door for you to apply for status, right? The relationship, the I-130 petition that you're going to file is what it's opening the door for you. But you still have to qualify independently to be able to get a green card, meaning you have to be admissible to the United States, meaning that you don't have any disqualifying criminal history or immigration history. So there's still the requirement that you qualify independently and that you qualify to do it inside the United States, which is the adjustment of status process. And that is for people who have entered the United States lawfully or who have a petition that was filed on their behalf before April of 2001. If you entered lawfully or have a petition prior to that date, you can do the entire process of getting your green card in the United States. But let's say that nobody filed a petition for you before that date and you did not enter the United States lawfully. You still qualify for a green card, but the difference is that you're going to have to travel to the U.S. consulate in your home country to be able to attend an interview there in order to be granted permanent resident status. Remember, everybody, I'm your immigration attorney, Luis Ruiz, and I'm here for you. I want to help you obtain your permanent resident status. I want to help you be legal in the United States so that you can accomplish all of your goals and all of your dreams. Our office is here to help. Give us a call if you have any questions, if you're looking to start a case. Whatever it is, we're here to help. I'm your immigration attorney, Luis Ruiz.